So he was performing for the next 3 years. He actually had 18 hit songs in a 3-year span. So from 1955 with his song Tutti Frutti on, he had 18 hit songs, period, throughout the 3 years. And then the end of the decade, the 1950s, that's when he pulled out of singing rock and roll music because he believed it was the devil's work. And he joined the church and then went to college to study theology. So I think in his instances with church, I think that's when he started to realize that his identity, whether he identified as gay or bisexual or whatever, I felt like that's when he started to realize that he couldn't fight it no more. Like that's just what he was, because there was an incident in the church and he got caught asking the deacon's son to expose himself to him, and he began to like hate himself afterwards because I think he got rejected, but he still began to hate himself because he's like, well, why do I like men? You know what I mean? So he grew up associating gayness with being wrong, and especially because he was from a Christian church, so Baptist church, so he grew up being taught that being gay was wrong. So he began to self-hate, partake in a lot of self-hate. Because something else too, it's like when you suppress your sexual desires, it's like they just start to explode. So in his 20s, he started paying men to have sex, not with him, but in front of him, and I'll explain. So he started to pay men to have sex with their women while he watched, basically. And he was doing that a lot. And he talks about like masturbation and how he began to hate doing that too, and he did a lot of that, and he actually got arrested for sexual misconduct in his hometown because he was caught at a gas station in a car with some other guys. In a car with a woman and a man having sex, and he was in the car, and so he got arrested. He got caught with that. But there was innuendos about that also in the movie. There was a scene where he was sitting at a table, and since his music was very sexual, like I said before, so I remember in the movie, I think one of his managers or something was saying something like, you don't even see what's going on around you, like it's about to be an orgy in here and you're fine with that, like, and you got all these white women in here, and like you don't know where you are, this is the South, like stuff like that, like saying things like that. So his music made people want to have sex, and he was suppressing a lot of his sexuality. He let it out in his music, and I can see that now that I did some more research. He did an interview with Penthouse magazine, and he said, I've been gay all my life, and I know God is a God of love, not of hate. And he said that he was omnisexual, and he said we are all both male and female. So that kind of explains to, and he also said that he was having orgies with men and women because he liked having sex with both. I just didn't know, like, I'm serious, y'all, I really did not know that he was like gay. So it's kind of like, I should have, like, when you think about it, it's like I should have known, but maybe it's just because he was older when I was younger, so I didn't really see nothing wrong with it. And I really liked a lot of stars like Prince and Michael Jackson, so I didn't think they was gay. And I think Prince ended up being bisexual, but I didn't know that either. But looking at him, he's a very handsome man, so I probably should have known, like, as far as like the makeup and everything. But I guess he did an interview with Angels Broadcast, 3 Angels Broadcast. And remember when I say that he said that homosexuality was unnatural, he goes back to say, and this was in 2012. So in 1995, he basically said he was gay his whole life. And then in 2012, he said all these things, so much unnatural affection, so much of people just doing everything and don't think about God, don't want no parts of him. I don't know what that. Comment below if you know what he's trying to say. But at the same time, I know that this is something that a lot of gay people do, and maybe it's just because he comes from that era where he felt like he had to hide it a lot, and who wouldn't have back then? Shit, you probably get killed if somebody thought you was gay or whatever, or knew you was gay or whatever. But I don't know. I mean, it's something to kind of go back and forth on your sexuality of saying that you're gay. You've been gay your whole life, and then 2012 you saying that it's unnatural, and I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't know, because I didn't know that he was gay. I keep saying that, but I actually just watched a performance of his where he was performing Tutti Frutti, and he didn't look happy at all. And you'll see it if you click the link below in the video, like where I always put where I get my research at in the link below. So if you go to the links and click the link, you'll see where I got this information when I'm talking about his sexuality. You can see a video on there of him performing Tutti Frutti. Watch that video and tell me what you think, because I saw it and my thoughts are that he didn't like the lyrics. Like, I could tell that he was getting bored with just singing another version of the lyrics, because he probably, I'm thinking in my mind that, you know, he probably, I mean, he made that song, so I know that he didn't want to change it, like, necessarily. He probably wished that he could have just, you know, came out with the song like it was. So I can understand him being a little bit bored with singing this, I got a girl. Like, the whole song was different, like, from his original lyrics. And his original lyrics was very nasty, but it was true to himself. Do I think that he should have came out with it? Of course not. Of course not. It wouldn't have did anything but probably got him killed back then. But it's something to say that he felt like he had to change it. If he didn't change that song, then it probably wouldn't have been as successful as it is today. But it is something to know that his lyrics were not the lyrics that was in the song. And he sang that song, like, I'm telling you, there's no voice like that. And in the movie, you can tell that he was struggling throughout it with his sexuality. So I wanted to kind of go back and see what happened and see some things that I didn't know, because I was curious the whole entire film, like, what is it? Like, is he gay? Because in the movie, he had a girlfriend. He met this girl and he liked her, and they were in a relationship for a long time in, like, the beginning of his career. And she helped him a lot in his career. And I could tell by the way he was looking at dudes, like, I could tell, like, he was attracted to men. But I never, like, in the movie, he never had no sexual encounter with a man, so I didn't know what was going on. But he did have a girlfriend that he was kissing on and making out with and all of that, and she wanted to get married. And there was a scene where she was like, oh, she was looking at a ring, and she was like, oh my God, that's the ring I want, it's perfect. And he was like, oh honey, that's not gonna fit me. So that's when I was like, okay, like, that's not what you say right there. You're not supposed to wear that, you know. So yeah, it was a nice ring, but it was like an early ring, you know. But woo, Lord, that made me grab on my edges, honey, because I just was like, wow, like, he's fairly gay, and it's okay. It's just, like, interesting to me to know that, like, it's Cause and my thing is, it's a difference between being gay and nobody knows, because you know, you're not giving gay tease, but it's, he put his sexuality in his music, in his performance, in the way he wore his makeup and everything. So it was there, honey. It was there. And I didn't know, like, of Little Richard before, you know, during those times. Like, he was just an older theatrical man to me that could really, really sing. So I wasn't thinking about nothing like that, like him being gay or nothing. Maybe it's because I was really young or nothing. But it's good to know that he can be a somewhat of a and I do say somewhat, because it's not good to pay to watch people to have sex, but he can be of some inspiration to the gay community and the LGBTQ community, because he was an amazing artist. He contributed to rock and roll, and yeah, he was just that dude, you know. And it's kind of unfortunate that he felt like he was caught between his religion and who he was, but he still was on top. He still was successful. And then I found out that he did pass away May the 9th of this year of bone cancer. I had no idea. And also, I forgot to mention that in 2012, I think, he came to Washington, D.C., and he got sick when he was here. He got sick, and then he later had a heart attack, and he took some like pain medicine, so he was able to be okay afterwards. But yeah, he had bone cancer, and he passed away this year, so that's crazy. But I hope that you guys like this video. Make sure you comment down below, subscribe to this channel, like this video. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. Did you think Little Richard was gay? Because I didn't know until, like, watching a movie and everything like that, like a couple days ago. So tell me what you think about that. That's kind of interesting to me. But just tell me what you think. Comment below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.